Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is September 14th, Thursday, and this is uh, 2 days too late. But I have a few things to talk about. I'm going to get it real quick. I'm going to get it done real quick. It's early in the morning here in Texas, the great state of Texas. Speaking of Texas, we're just going to hop, like I said, we're just going to hop right into it. How about those Longhorns uh, going into Bryant Denny and not only beating Alabama, but really just dominating Alabama. Alabama had a lead going into the fourth. That didn't last long at all. Texas outscores Bama 21-8 in the fourth quarter. A big turnaround from last year, considering they would blow leads in the second half instead of step on the gas, like Sarkisian had once said. So good win for Texas, ranked 4 now in the country. I think that's fitting. Um, it's really hard to not get ranked that high when you go in and have such a resounding win against Alabama. So good for them. Besides that, there really wasn't too many enticing stories around football. Caleb Williams dominated once again, 281 yards, 3 touchdowns. Washington dominated. Washington looks good. Washington, I think, is a top 5 team with Penix Jr. at the helm. Tennessee didn't look very good. They only won by, what is that? I'm stupid. 27? Is that 27? Yeah, that's 27. No, I'm sorry, 17. Wow, really bad. 30-13, won by 17. Against Austin Pay. I don't even think that's the right pronunciation for that. Anyways, they didn't look good, but we'll see. Joe Milton still needs to figure it out. He wasn't even the leading passer in that game, ironically enough. Okay. Utah. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here's a good story. Utah barely scrapes against 0-2 Baylor. Um, That's tough. Oregon escapes Texas Tech. You knew that was going to be a tough game, even though Tech is the worst team in the Big 12. Well, Tech and Baylor are the two worst teams in the Big 12. Those are trap games for Texas, especially this year and the last year of the Big 12. Texas better come prepared against Baylor and Tech because they will beat Texas if Texas is not careful. Texas needs to finally play up the competition and not down. Anyways, one sec. All right, excuse me. Had the sniffles. North Carolina barely beats App State. Not a good game. Not a fun game to watch. If you were an App State or just a football fan, if you're a North Carolina fan, that was absolutely devastating to watch. That was one of the worst games they played in a long time, and they've played some pretty bad games. Besides that, there's really nothing. Wisconsin loses to Washington State, but Washington State's not that bad. I think they're underrated. Tulane blows they had a pretty decent lead, if I believe so. At least it was a touchdown lead, but Ole Miss comes out on top of that. Duke looks good. Excuse me, 42-7 against Lafayette. That's what you expect. Duke might be the best team in the ACC with Miami, believe it or not. And of course, Colorado absolutely dominant this time around. Their defense really stood out. I know Nebraska is a horrible offensive team, but their defense it's still a great that's great motivation for them. So, and then lastly, Texas A&M falls out of top 25. Great week of college football. Like I said, Texas A&M's not good, and Miami kicked their ass as they should have. So, besides that, that's your top 25 recap. If you have forgotten from Saturday, but I'm here to remind you, Texas might be back. So sorry, Longhorn fans, I said that, but it could very much be the case. So moving on to week 3, not really too much cooking. Tonight at 6:30, we have Miami playing Bethune-Cookman. So Miami by 60. Honestly, whatever Miami's spread is, take it. I know I'm not very good at betting. Obviously, you saw last weekend's betting slate did not go well for me, 0 for 4. But it's tough to screw up that. At least take Miami money line if you're in a slump. All right, you know. Anyways, Texas spread as well. Texas is favored by 29.5 against Wyoming. If Texas is as good as they say they are, I don't know. Might be a bet you want to take. I'm not going to do betting today. That was the only 2. That's it. I promise. I'm done. Promise. All right. So moving on. Yeah. Once again, Texas, Wyoming, really a snooze fest. Texas better come out ready to play. Win by 40. Besides that, there's really, LSU and Mississippi State, but that is in Starksville, and LSU's 14th in the country. we'll see. We'll see if Daniels is up to the task. A little Big 12 rematch, old Big 12 rematch, Kansas State, Missouri. Kansas State's going to win by a ton, even though it's away. Missouri's just not good. Um, yeah, I don't. College game day. Actually completely. Oh yeah, college game day is Colorado versus Colorado State. That might be a fun game. I don't think Colorado State's any good. Let's check out their record. They lost to Washington State by a lot. Um, yeah, so Colorado by a mile, it looks like. Besides that, really not much in the college football world this weekend, which might be a nice break for everyone because everyone was glued to the TV on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday this past weekend going into Monday. It's just a great all around college football. NFL games are insane. And so, with that being said, let's talk about the NFL. All right. So, excuse me, I'm having a little bit of. I just ate, and so a little gas. Week one has came. Week one is gone. Some takeaways. Patrick Mahomes is in desperate need of a pass catcher that's not Travis Kelce because Travis Kelce isn't always going to be healthy as he is an aging middle aged man at this point. And to turn football years, he is a grandpa. So Kadarius Toney, you can't drop four. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Rams looked a whole lot better than I thought they were going to. Stafford looked fantastic, 330 plus yards. No touchdown passes, but Tutu Atwell had 119 reception yards. I mean, absolutely without having Cup, just Sean McVay masterclass. And I'm glad to see McVay can still coach without stars. So that's really encouraging to see. Moving on, Falcons. Their running game was insane. They blew out the Panthers. Bijan played as advertised and what the hype has been. So, I mean, if you're the Falcons, you're loving this. And Algier had a great game too. Their backup running back was their leading rusher, and Bijan still had a great game. So, I mean, if you're Atlanta, you're in a good spot. I think you need to incorporate Kyle Pitts and Drake London a little more in the passing game, but that really comes down to can Desmond Ridder read a defense. And so I don't know. I think the Falcons are a quarterback away from having a really, really good team, but maybe Desmond Ridder can turn it around. You know who's it's going to be tough to turn around is the Bengals because the Bengals looked abysmal. I want to go to this box score real quick because you can't lose 3-24 against the Cleveland Browns. Like I said, I'm still a Cleveland Brown denier. They are still not good. I mean, just an absolute disaster class from Joe Burrow. And I mean, what's Joe Mixon, 56 yards on 13 carries for 4.3 average. I mean, that's just not good. Jamar Chase, 5 for 9 on receptions with only 39 yards. I mean, it's just T. Higgins had 8 targets and no catches. And I think he had a few drops as well. I mean, it's just not good. Cincinnati needs to figure it out, or they're in for a very long season. They're a very good team, honestly. So we need to figure that one out for sure, especially since you have to play against Baltimore twice in the season, and you got to play Cleveland again, who clearly has your number still. So Joe Burrow, you better figure it out. Week 2 is not going to be kind to you either. When I'll talk about week 2 in a little bit. I just want to go back on recap, check out some games. Bucks Vikings mid off. I mean, not really impressive here. Man, I mean, just a lot of snoozers. Cardinals Commanders. That was a miserable game. I watched a little bit of that and fell asleep. Literally fell asleep. Ravens Texans. Ravens blowout. Unfortunately, J.K. Dobbins is out for the rest of the season, but you have Lamar Jackson, who is a throwing running back. So not all hope is lost, but still pretty crushing blow, especially for Dobbins, who was injured last year too. So he's kind of in limbo there. Ravens, they were smart, would probably try to find a trade for him. I wouldn't want to pay another cent of that contract, honestly. And that's nothing against Dobbins. It's just how the business is. Broncos looked a whole lot better. They lost, unfortunately. They still need the kind of mix. They're still not in that stage yet, but not all hopes lost. Raiders are a pretty decent team. I think Garoppolo had a pretty decent game, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. And Jacoby Myers looked really good. 2 touchdown catches, both of those from Garoppolo, of course. Um, I mean, that's the Raiders 7 straight over the Broncos, anyways. So they just have their number. It's just what it is. So Broncos. Who does Bronco? Who do they play the Commanders? So there's your bounce back right there. Against the Command, they'll probably get that one out. They'll probably win that one against Washington. Washington's not a good team. There's actually a video. I'm not sure if I can play this. I won't play it, but I might give a little clip if you watch the podcast right here. And after you see the video, you will see a fan getting beaten by a Ravens fan, I believe. I don't have the video in front of me. Anyways, trash fans out there in Washington, nothing surprises me. It was a Ravens fan at a Cardinals game, by the way. Very weird. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, but, Washington moment. So moving on, Eagles did not look good, but they still won. Mac Jones looked good. I'm not going to lie. Mac Jones looked pretty good. He had a mistake in the fourth, if I recall, that cost him the game kind of. But besides that, it really wasn't a bad game for Mac Jones. Jalen Hurts did not have a really good game. The Patriots defense looks a little better. The Eagles kind of started out hot, but then they got stifled towards the end. And it was really the Patriots game after the first quarter. If the Patriots had just held them to even one score, obviously. Oh, I mean, I say that obviously. Also, Ezekiel Elliott, hold on to the ball. Besides that, the Patriots look better than I thought they were going to look. I'm not going to lie. So we'll see what the Patriots. I really don't know who's going to. It's anyone's game this year. The Chiefs didn't look good. The teams that looked like title contenders last year did not look like title contenders on week one. In week one. But you know who did look like a title contender was the Green Bay Packers, which Jordan Love looked absolutely amazing. 245 yards for 3 touchdowns. He went 15 for 27, no picks. He had 123 quarterback QBR 73.3 and a rating of 123. I mean, that's just what you want. Justin Fields didn't look half bad either. He had a really bad pick though. I think that was in what was that? Was that the third quarter that he had that pick? I can check real quick. It was a pick 6, I believe. It was the early fourth quarter. Really bad pick, but the game was over by then, so it really didn't matter. Chicago, nightmares again. Their defense looked terrible, which is odd because their defense has really been their strong spot the past few years. But, Jordan Love looked really good, and so that's really encouraging if you're a Packers fan. So good job, Green Bay, for doing the right thing because Aaron Rodgers is now gone, and he might be gone for the rest of his career. He says he's coming back, but I don't think so. Jets are in trouble. Bills are in trouble because Josh Allen is not as good as what we thought he was. 1 touchdown and 3 picks, including 2 really bad picks late in the game. That was like, really? Why did you throw that? Just an absolutely stunning victory for the Jets. Hell of an ending too by this is the show Hard Knocks, I believe. I think so. What's his name? Is that Xavier Gibson? Yeah. Great story from SFA. He tore up ACU last year, my alma mater. And so yeah, I remember he had a kick return touchdown, if I believe, or something insane. But good for him. That was a hell of a game. Fun game to watch. If you were anyone but a Bills fan. And you won for Aaron Rodgers, so that's what it matters. I think people need to give Zach Wilson a chance. He didn't look very good, but I mean, you go into that game saying, yeah, I'm probably not going to take a single snap until week 4 at least, and then second, third play of the game, it's over, and so it's now your turn to go. So I think he did a good job for what he was given. Breece Hall looked great. He's probably going to get more touches soon. Dalvin Cook did not look good. This is Breece Hall's backfield, and so Dalvin Cook is just an RB2, kind of just wandering around. Maybe a little receiving back. He looked good on. He was 3 for 3 in targets, so he might be that receiving back they've been looking for. But so did Breece Hall. Breece Hall didn't look bad. I think Brees Hall is going to have a really good season. He might be the best running back in football. Hot take. So we will see, but good for the Jets for most part. Losing Aaron Rodgers is tough. I think you give it a week or two before you go out and reach out to someone or anything in the free agency, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. The Jets look like they're on the right track, so they'll pretty much get that going, I guess, what you can say. Thursday night football, Eagles Vikings, snooze off. Eagles should turn this around and figure it out. Vikings, it's the Kirk Cousins curse in prime time. So I have no faith in Kirk Cousins at all. That's nothing against him. I like Kirk Cousins. He just doesn't play well on Thursday nights or really any primetime game. Excuse me, one sec. So we'll see. Eagles by 6, though. I agree. But I've been wrong every single time. So who knows? Okay. Rivalry game 49ers Rams. I'm not even going to talk about it because I said the Rams will lose by a lot this time, and they didn't. We'll see what Matt Stafford has for us this time. Christian McCaffrey looked really good last week. So did Ayuk. I don't know. My heart says 49ers by a mile, but maybe the Rams at home can sneak one out. I don't think so. They're already one game better than I thought they were going to be. So Packers Falcons will be an exciting game. See if the Packers rush defense can stop the duo in the backfield for Atlanta. That'll be a tough one. I'm trying to Ravens Bengals. That's in Cincinnati. Ravens without Dobbins. That'll be an interesting game. Honestly, don't know who's going to win. They have Cincinnati by 3.5, but Cincinnati played really, really, really bad. So I think the Ravens kind of have the advantage here, and I think they know that too. So I say Ravens. I say Ravens spread. Who knows? Ravens plus 3.5. Moving on. I don't really. Like I said, Commanders, Broncos, Dolphins, Patriots. I mean, Tua had the best game I've seen in a long time. 466 yards is crazy. And Tyreek Hill had 215 of those. It's absolutely nuts. Against the Patriots team, the Patriots defense kind of blew it in the first quarter. Can they play like the second half they did last week? I'm not sure. If they do play like that, definitely half all of the Dolphins stats. But yeah, Dolphins just look really good right now. It's really encouraging for Dolphins fans because y'all been suffering a long time. So we'll see. But go Tua. You underthrow Tyreek Hill every single time, but it seems to work. So for that, congrats. And then Monday, we have 2 Monday night games, ironically enough. Both snooze fest. I really don't. I don't have any picks here. I'm not even going to talk about it really. I want to. What do I want to do? I was going to talk about the top 25 in NCAA, but I really don't feel like it. I don't think that it really needs to be talked about. You want to go to MLB? Do I want to segue to MLB, or do I just want to cut this short? Is the question. The Astros almost threw a no-hitter last night. What a burger. Jordan breaks a StatCast record. Who would have guessed? Cubs lose again to the Rockies. The Rangers are back on track, even though they lost Scherzer for the rest of the year. I mean, that's just Rangers' luck. You lose DeGrom, then you go trade for Scherzer, you lose him. You know who you still have? It's Cardinals legend, Jordan Montgomery. I'm just saying, he's Mr. Reliable in St. Louis, so hopefully the Cardinals can get him back in the offseason. That would be really nice. Acuna's on pace for a 40-40 season, perhaps. Who knows? 7 away, I think. And he's really hot right now. The Braves are hot again after losing 2 out of 3 to St. Louis. They're 96-50. That's crazy. Besides that, Cardinals look good again. Too little, too late. They're already at 81 losses. The next loss will be a losing season, first time since 2007. But they're playing spoiler. They've won their first 2 against Baltimore. They have a chance to go for the sweep tomorrow, or tonight, I guess I should say. It is morning here, so they have the sweep for tomorrow. Let's check out the standings a little bit, see if anyone's bumped up or down since the last time I talked about it. Not really. Toronto has lost 3 in a row to Texas, so They need to figure that one out because they are about to really just tank their season. Okay, let's see. Yeah, once again, Texas on a 5-game winning streak. Looks like they kind of figured it out again. Good for them. I'm not going to lie. I don't like Texas, but I would like to see them in the playoffs. They have a lot of good players and guys I respect. So I will be a Rangers fan for the time being, but I'm also an Astros fan. Looking at it, obviously Cardinals fan first and foremost, but we are dog ass. So I'll root for my Texas teams. It's still an exciting race. The Mariners were also slumping with the Rangers, but it looks like they have figured it out again. So that'll be a 3-man fight for first. The next 2 will fall down into the wild card. And that will be a fun 3-game series to watch. Besides that, Philadelphia is fighting for a card spot, so is Miami. Atlanta just clinched last night, first team to do so. Dodgers, once again, I feel like the Dodgers are going to go to the World Series, but they're kind of just teetering, lackadaisical Los Angeles Dodgers type beat. So be careful, Los Angeles fans. You might not have a team to root for past the second week of October, but we'll see. I'm trying to Cubs and Brewers fighting for first. Cincinnati not too far behind, but their magic number is 11. St. Louis is 1 game gone from being eliminated already. Very sad. The wild card standings, St. Louis is. I'm looking at St. Louis, so I haven't checked St. Louis in the standings. We're actually 7-3, the best team in baseball in the last 10. Us and the Yankees, both teams that are going to finish last in their division. I think that's the funniest thing ever. The 2 teams playing their best baseball in their last 10 are both going to finish last place in their division. That is the most St. Louis Cardinals and New York Yankees thing I have seen in a long time. Same with the Mets, really, but they're 5-5 last 10. Just a overall disappointing season for both the Mets, Padres, and Cardinals, and Yankees, of course, and really Angels, think about it, because Ohtani's not pitching again for a long time. You're going to get him on discount, so that's good. Angels fans should be excited about that one. But Trout's going to get traded. They already said they're open to trading Trout if he's fine with it, so Trout's gone. And I guess you just got to build around Shohei while he has 2 more years left of his hitting prime. His pitching prime's over, unfortunately. Really unfortunate. But there's really a 6-team battle in the. I think this is crazy. I just saw this. There's a 4-team battle for the wild card in the American League, and then there is a 6-team battle for the National League wild card spots, including a tie for 3rd place right now between the Diamondbacks and Reds. St. Louis gets to play a spoiler. So we're going to see St. Louis is going to take out all their anger and frustration on the season on the poor Cincinnati Reds. They got them for the final series of the season. Will St. Louis knock the Reds out of the playoff race? I hope so. It'll just make me feel really good and warm inside knowing that St. Louis bumped off another team. Besides that, I really got nothing else in baseball. There really hasn't been any news either. I mean, we can check here. Besides the Braves clinching, Steele is leading the NL Cy Young race, which is very upsetting for me as a Cardinals fan, but good for him. Besides that, I don't really have any updates on like MVP race or anything like that. Baseball has been kind of a snooze to watch. I'm not even going to lie. We can check Twitter real quick. This could be a new segment. I'm kind of just reading off. I know this is kind of really impersonal, but I'm kind of just reading off what I'm reading on the screen here. So that's why I'm not looking at the camera the whole time. Okay, let's see. Rich politics, BS, no one cares. Drake had a concert in Austin one of my buddies went to. That's kind of cool. Spencer Strider's trending. He had a good pitching night. Much better than against St. Louis last week when he gave up like 8 runs. Tonight was 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 9 Ks. Very good. Phillies did not look good, and I thought the Phillies were going to get hot, but I guess they decided they didn't want to play baseball in October, so good for them. Milwaukee's trending. That's probably the Bucks, though, and I don't really want to talk about basketball right now because I'm going to have a whole basketball thing soon. That includes talking about the Giannis story. He's most likely gone. So I guess I'll just wrap it up. I apologize again for the mess in the back. It's been really, really busy week, and I just really haven't had the time to clean up anything or do anything of the sorts. And so I've kind of been just going day by day, hour by hour. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this version of the Thank You Bro podcast. Hopefully, it's really my fault this time around for not getting Ryan on. This was the only time I could do it, and I just wanted to get something out before Thursday Night Football and the weekend too. Because if I didn't do it this morning, then I wasn't going to do it at all. And so I just needed to get something out. Hopefully, my roommate did not wake up due to me talking, but we're a pretty decent distance away, and he sleeps through anything. So props to Sam. Let's give Sam a good shout out. He doesn't listen to this, but I think he should. So, anyways, that being said, this is the Thank You Bro podcast by yours truly, Will Glover, and sometimes Ryan Galloway, but he's not here, like I said before. So hit that follow button on all of our socials. We just made an Instagram at Thank You Bro Pod on Instagram. And with that being said, give us a 5-star rating and go ahead and follow on Spotify. We're going to be over at Apple Music shortly. It's not there yet. I'm still got a few things to work on with Apple. Apple likes to be a pain in the rear with literally everything, as we all know. So, but I will be on there soon. Excuse me. And then I'll be asking all my Apple Music followers to go give that a like there. So once again, with that being said, I've been your host, Will Glover, and I will see y'all next time. Thank you.